so much, the team of NISA and team of CSS, that you are doing wonderful job. You are encouraging education in those people who can't afford very expensive education, and private schools. Of course, they are called public school, but I'll call them private schools. I don't know why they are called public schools, but they are private schools charging exorbitant fees in the name of anything. Building fund, this fund, that fund. And the fees goes in thousands and thousands. And there is no bar. And those who are to get their children educated, well educated, and they have low budget, or they are on poorer side, or middle class, it's pretty difficult for them to send in these private schools. Not only that, what is happening now is difficult to get the admission also. And there is a huge amount of donation which passes under the table. Any amount. There are certain schools which has brand name. They can ask any amount of donation, and people are ready to pay also. And that is a black money. And in this situation, if CSS and NISA is a team of those who are running schools, budget schools. They are providing education at a minimum cost or reasonable price. And I'm told, I heard the speaker, one of the speakers, that they are providing education to such children also whose parents are not there or who do not have support. Indeed, it is a great job. And also identifying the talents. Paintings, I could see that they have been identified. And the films, those who made, they have been also awarded, rewarded. But one thing I would like to say is that budget school is required, and of course corporation schools are as bad as no schools, or you can say as good as there are no schools. Very poor background children go over there, or the parents who are not conscious of education, they send their children. Because study is hardly there. Teachers are very careless, officers also. So this is the position of corporation schools, very disappointing. Now there is a craving for good education all over the country. And from now onward itself, I have started facing problem of getting the admission done in Kendriya Vidyalaya. And by the month of June, July, if I meet 400, 500 people, then of course out of 400, 500 people every day, 50, 60, 70, 100 people every day come for admission. So they know it that member of parliament has certain quota to get admitted in Kendriya Vidyalaya, but at the same time they expect that though all those schools which are there in the constituency should be influenced by me to get admission under EWS category or otherwise. And it becomes so difficult and people will not believe. I tell them that, of course, at the most we can get admitted 20 children, 25 children, but I have received last year more than 1,000 applications. And they insist that their children should be educated in Kendriya Vidyalaya, because Kendriya Vidyalaya is a good school. They are very good schools. So there is really hunger for good education in this country. But unfortunately, that is not becoming possible. And most of state government run schools are also not good. I can understand that whether UP board, Bihar board or any other state boards, except that Kendriya Vidyalaya and this Christian missionary schools and some private schools, other schools, the kind of education they are imparting, one can imagine that I can say that it's as good as no education. I studied in UP board, and my teacher used to teach English in 10+2 through Hindi medium. So imagine what kind of teacher he was and what kind of education is being given. That is the state of affairs. And any country cannot be global power unless until that country is educated. And ours is the only country which tries to become a global power without getting quality education. Of course, universal education is there, but quality education is not there. And when it became compulsory, universal education became compulsory, we are happy. And many people were happy, but what happened? Hardly anything happened. Because there is no quality education. And where there is a quality education also, they are being taught to take up the job, not to become a good citizen. That young lady, she pointed out that how to become a good citizen. That is not being taught in schools, not in homes and not in schools. I remember an instance of mine that when I was addressing series of Indian diaspora meet in America in 2014, 15, in one of the states of America, that is North Carolina. I addressed Indian diaspora over there and met one a family, and mother was frustrated for one reason, that they are well established, Indians are well established. She herself was a doctor and husband was doctor, they had rolling practice. She was frustrated that her children in schools are not abiding the customs or social values of the family. And that was very disturbing for her. I said, what's the problem? She said, my daughters, my son, no matter who's what, they interact with everybody. They are not just conscious of their status to which family they belong. And that was eye-opening for me. And that I could guess the power of the American schooling system, that even if parents carry rotten values or whatever the values they have, the schools have or education has has a power, has a capacity to de-racialize children, to make them rise above the danger, gender separation and color. So she was disturbed about the fact that my daughter sometimes they roam around with the LGBT, sometimes with the blacks, and that kind of education is not being given in the country. What we are being given, we are definitely being taught computer, mathematics, history, knowledge, not the really values. How to make the mind of children discrimination free. More than 50% in schools, the upper caste children don't eat midday meal with the lower caste children. That is the state of affairs. I don't know what about the budget schools, whether it's a private school, budget schools. Maybe exception, but you see, Times of India, it has surveyed very extensively and found that, of course. And I'm very hopeful that once you employ a Dalit lady as a cook and tell the children, then you will come to know it. Then you will find, then you will find, that's what I'm telling you, then you will find, because you are not facing that situation. Then what kind of education it is? Education is just to make aware of subjects and of course restoring information in our box. That is not the real education. Education should definitely make us free from gender separation, gender discrimination, and gender separation. Isn't the fact that educated, be it graduate, postgraduate, they indulge in same kind of practices towards girls and females? So that is also required. And wherever I go, I try to say to teachers that, look, let the children have a free thinking, creative thinking, critical thinking. That is not happening. And of course, unless until you have that, you give them a opportunity to think themselves. Let them question. Let them have critical thinking. And now we have a robust education system in the country. We have academia, intelligentsia in such a large number. If the Prime Minister to give a call to make India Swachh Bharat, what the teachers are doing, what the students are doing, what have they learned, what journalists are doing, what authors, what professors are doing. They couldn't even teach this value. So middle class miserably failed, educated class miserably failing. It's not the job of the Prime Minister, it's not the job of the politician. Then what for you are? Then why do you claim yourself that you are intelligence here? Academia. So what happened is that not only empowering the children with the maximum information, whether computer information or maths information, journal, geography, whatever. Real education means is that make him to learn at the same time human values. Everybody is equal. Be it a child, it's a boy or girls, males or females. But those are not happening. That thing is not happening. So I will expect that CSS and NISA will also look into this also. They will try to endeavor to do something in this respect also, because they are also running schools wherever schools are there, and don't be a status quoist. We need to change a lot. You must teach must give some knowledge such subjects. Why it's being considered that cleanliness is a bad thing? In Japan, you see, at the lunchtime, children eat lunch. They clean up the floor, their utensils, and no matter who's what, even if he is son of the Prime Minister. So they will not disdain or they will not feel bad that if they are made to clean their own dirt. They will not need to employ safai wala. So those values are also be to inculcated in them, which is not happening unfortunately. Try to think in this direction also. If the movies are made, films are made, documentaries, writings and speeches, these things should be also addressed. I tell you, it's a verse that if anybody is educated, I come from a very crude background, very primitive village, that if a boy is educated, he is more useless than uneducated person in a village. He can't cultivate land. He can't do that manual work. He feels that's below his dignity because he's graduate and postgraduate. So those kind of values should be also inculcated. Let this Nisa start it. With these remarks, thank you. And I got the privilege. I'm honored to honor those who give reward, those who could excel in making the film or painting and different stream. Thank you so much.